Good morning and welcome to Zwift Community Live. KRT Racer Focus here this morning. It is just about to get underway here. And what it is, it's a race. We're doing a race here on the virtual cycling platform of Zwift. Glad to have you with us, glad to have you watching later on. 30 seconds to the start. All the avatars you see on your screen are real people connected to bikes. They are riding bikes. They are connected via the virtual cycling platform called Zwift. And we are just about to get underway this morning. Thanks for joining. Apologies for the bit of the uncouth start, but here we are. Fast start as always in KISS. We're doing 4 laps of the Watopia flat course. Pretty ubiquitous parkours for Zwift racing, and we already got a problem. We're sliding backward. We need to watch out for the Chinese duo here of Minga and Wang. We were racing them last Tuesday. Always a quick start. You just want to be in the blob. Big boys in the race. Becker. And Cartwright. Both in the group. Gardner. Also here today. So glad to have you with us. We're just getting started. 40 Ks to go. They are smashing it up there. I'm just trying to stay into the draft and race smart. Smaller group today. Got Tim Cartwright. Quite a few KRT in the group. Don't know who's off the front, but he's got one off. We're going fast. This is a race, community organized race. I'm not sure if the scrolling bits at the bottom are correct. Thanks, Greg Lee. Greg Lee in the Facebook comments here says, good luck, ride on. As always, thank you. Somebody's off the front banging it real hard. And right now I'm feeling like a square peg in a round hole. So we just got to stay with the blob. It's a little chaotic in the back here. Here goes a move, they're going. I like the smaller groups. Does animate the race a bit. It also makes it less likely to get completely shoved out the draft. It helps to warm up. Hirookiano up there just pinned at 5.5. I would do something to help the team effort here, but Tim does not need help. There goes Becker, counterattack. Move is up. This hill's gonna be bonkers. New bike to the stream today, in real life bike. Maybe I'll tell you about that once I'm certain I'm not going to throw up. Feel okay, but watch this. Now we have a long uphill drag. Falls flat for about 2 Ks, 2 to 3 Ks. Coming up. This is where the manic types turn the screws a bit. Oh, my graph is on. That's depressing. Graph is on, showing a lot of red. If you ever want to turn the graph on, the one that shows up in workout mode, just press the G key. Shows you where you are in your power zones in real time. And for the last 10 minutes, it just scrolls across. Christopher J, who says, smaller group, might be easier to hang on with less people to push the pace. Good luck, thank you. Yes, sometimes that's the case. We're just a little bit over. There's levels of blob, right? First level is blob minimum. And when I talk about the blob, I'm talking about this Peloton. There's a draft effect. If you're tucked in, you're in good shape. But as you lose it, you gotta push the same speed on your own, which is impossible sometimes. 25 mile an hour up this hill, 41 kph is a big ask. So the first level of blob, happens when you have about 4 or 5 riders together. And the blob just means nobody's really pulling it. There they go. All right, I'm just gonna stay on snow patrol up here. So first level of blob, just about 5 riders. And then once you get up above about 15, you're in tier 2. I'll explain that more later. Right now we're chasing down some silly billies that don't respect the blob, much to my chagrin. If everyone respected the blob, I could just sit in. Nope, we gotta surge into all this silly stuff. That's what we're here for though. Push our limits, increase fitness, and to gain the respect of the virtual Peloton. Still on the false flats. Got a left-hander upcoming. And then it's going uphill. There's only opportunity for small, short recoveries. Thanks, Socks and Ham. We are watching the comments here on Facebook. If you got any questions, nausea prevention techniques, that's all appreciated. They really want to get across. Like I said earlier, new bike, got that E-tab, wireless electronic shifting. First rode it at a Zwift event here in Washington, D.C. I liked it. We can talk more about that later too. Not good. Got that single file line, elastic stretching. Got a big old hill here in about 500 meters. So I'm just trying to stay at threshold. So we got to go zone 6 here in a minute. Tim's still with us. He's going to smash us all up in a minute. He's doing more of attrition, letting Becker and boys up the road. Drain them a little bit. Drain the swamp. Thanks, Wendy. That's Wendy Superfan from Tassie. That's Tasmania. For all of you uncultured types, welcome, Wendy. We're about to go up a berg. Here we go. I can feel the resistance in the trainer. I can see the other riders winding the gears up out the saddle. I want to match them and carry the power over the top. Okay, this is a slight chance to recover. Just don't tell anyone. Coming back to the groove. Last chance to recover here. Downhill into the start-finish banner. And then somehow, this always happens, hombres there's a good chance to recover all the way to the bottom of the ocean. But sometimes hombres like to wind it up after the start finish. There's a small little false flat there. So we're always keeping an eye on the pack and the shape of the pack. Socks and M will be here Thursday I mean. Great to hear that. Hey, yeah, so we're always keeping an eye on the shape of the pack. So right now the more it looks like a wedge, the slower the pace on the front. The more it looks like a long line, the harder the pace. So right now we're in sort of the middle. Like I said, some guys like to wind it up through here, because you'll see the gradient tick up in just a moment. And I'm recovered pretty well, heart rate back down to tempo time. So far, so good. Basically, this flat race is a time trial effort, more or less, because there's just long periods of all uphill, falls flat, there's no recovery, so you're really on the power for a good, out of the 12-minute lap, you're on it for probably at least half the time. Oh, Wendy, you're going away. Where are you headed? Hopefully it's for pleasure. Safe travels and all. So yeah, we're looking to recover here. Keep the legs ticking over. I know you don't like need water for what's going to be about a 50-minute effort, but my thinking there is it's kind of cooler than the air, right? Not really, because I'm in a lame apartment. But the water kind of cools you off internally, and that's my biggest challenge. Oh, Wendy's going to watch 2 bike races on the mainland in Australia, the Melbourne 6-day, which is a track race, I imagine, and something called the Austral. Here goes, guys, winding up the pace a bit. Just got to stay tucked in here. Positioning is important. If you're asleep, reading comments, you can get caught out. Those of you that are used to watching know that. I'm pretty good at getting caught out. And they're really winding it up, and we're stuck on the right hand. See, I'm right behind Becker here in the black, but Zwift was putting me to draft on a different guy. So you gotta just be ready for your left-right positioning to be less than ideal. All right, and remember last lap, right after the trees here, we gotta go up. There we go. Can't get too lazy. My teammate Brian up there, strong as an ox. Yeah, Oliver, I think he wants to know about recovery. How often do I recover? I ain't no expert. Sometimes I just switch it up so that I don't do other rides. I just do races. I have a real life cyclocross. Sunday, so I should probably take Thursday off. Hey Larry, we're in lap 2, 4-lap race. Kiss America's Day, huh? A category. We're rolling pretty fast. Yeah, I was getting close there, right, Sox? Sox telling me to be careful. I'm playing with the back of the pack. I'm about to take this left turn. It'll probably yield an attack. There's a little hill around the bend. There we go. That's the move. Bye, Tim. See you next time. Now we got a problem. Heart rate way up. Hill coming. Gotta recover, gotta recover. We got it. Threshold 168. Thanks, James. It's a messy sport. Yeah, Sox has it right. You need to be up the pack. Brian covering all the moves up there or something. No, it's Tim. Let's sit behind Sticky. Dave's a good wheel. So is Jerome. Any wheel's a good wheel for Franco. That's Battiato, our resident sprinter. Sprinter in residence. If there's no breakaway, he'll get top 5. Doing about 3.9. That's watts per kilo. Thanks. Thanks, Bougie. From Helsinki. Yeah, there's different categories of racing, everyone. So this is the A category. So it's based on an FTP over 4 watts per kilogram. FTP is functional threshold power, which is a theoretical value that you could hold for an hour, and upon completing that hour, you'll be completely exhausted. No more riding. And you test it with that 20-minute power test, or an 8-minute power test. Hang on though. Looks like we're drilling it here. Some offshore drilling going on. Need to stay focused up. Bougie, that's still pretty good. on the grand scheme of things. Plus, we're not about winning, we're about pushing our limits. We're about training, chasing those pixels. Eugene, 135 pounds, lucky. See, I have a couple of problems. One, I can't buy pants off the rack. I'm too tall. Everybody gets hit by dropouts right here. And it just happened to Tim and one other guy. Anyway, yeah, I can't buy pants off the rack. And I'm putting out like big numbers, but I weigh 93 kilos. All right, here we go. Coming up. All right, last lap coming up. Eugene, I haven't done a real life TT yet. Thanks, Simon. Thanks, James. Wendy asked if she can feel the cobbles through Zwift. Yes, on a certain trainer, only one trainer. The Tax Neo does that. It's called Road Feel. That's the one that costs $1,600 US. Guys are not holding wheels at the back. God dang. See, when guys aren't paying attention, they make a roadblock. Oh man. The problem with moving up, you need to do it, but once you get there, you're pretty much guaranteed to get scrambled to the back, even if you hold power. So I try to get to the front when I know there's something happening that requires me to be up there, which it's a trade-off. It's gonna hurt me sometimes, but in my mind, it's gonna hurt me less than pushing 350 watts and then getting stuck in the back, making that effort worth nothing. So you see an acceleration in the group. What I just did is wind it up a little bit, just anticipate. That way I hold my spot, I don't move back. And now they've gone again, so I need to wind it up again. Split, big old split. 9 lives. Thanks, Simon. I'm watching the comments here on Facebook.com/Zwift Community Live. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I like smaller groups than that because the drafting is better. It's easier to give a certain power output and maintain your position. When it's a big group, it's just a scramble. So you could be doing 400 watts and get sucked to the back. And that's not a good incentive. Oh, I'm gonna do this effort to be on the front. And then you just randomly get churned. But not all the time. So yeah, the churn kind of is no good. I'm just trying to keep riding tempo here. Thanks, Wendy. I finally made it to lap 4. Oh. New bike does well. I have 177.5 cranks, 177.5 on this bike, and somehow it feels smoother. Just a few hundred meters to go now. The other boys are long gone. That was fun though. Couple times on the brink for me. And if there had been a couple more strong riders in the pack, they would have just had that much more raw power and would have made it a lot harder to get on the back. Thanks, Yahoo. Wait, what's the new bike? Eugene, I have it's in my Strava feed. If you want to see it, but it's a BMC SLR 01 from 2012. Basically a brand new unused frame set that I just scooped up. It has SRAM E-tab, an FSA finishing kit, a nice carbon saddle. So built up with some 50 mil wheels. It weighs 16.2 pounds, 7.3 kilos. Pretty happy with it. It's got a old school cork. Old school cork from back in the day. So the crankset is also pretty nice and light. And yeah, I'm not really a weight weenie, but I saw an old school bike up, and it's a 60 centimeter frame, so it's big enough for me. I could have probably gone with a 58 just from a saddle height perspective, but anyway, this is basically the bike that Cadell rode in the 2011 Tour when he won it. Here's Brian. Made a good effort to make sure Brian didn't get gapped, though I'm sure he didn't need it. But it's my teammate. Like the teammate thing, okay guys, you might not just looking to click on something here. The teammate thing is such a great motivator. All my teammates now are in this A category, are pretty much stronger than me. But when I get the opportunity to bury myself for a teammate, you just get extra motivation, everything else goes away, and you can just dig deep, which is one of the awesome things. I encourage anybody to try out a team on Zwift. Again, it's another community-run thing that we do, so you know, there's no real official way to go about it. Right now, there's quite a few teams that have a lot of really strong riders, but there's still a lot of strong riders that don't have a team that might want one. So we're really trying to encourage other teams to start up so we get a little bit more team-on-team competition in these races. Sometimes ODZ shows up to these, and they'll bring like 4 or 5 guys and just smash us up, because they'll bring like 4 or 5 elite guys, like national level amateurs, and they'll smash us up. They'll just attack one after the other, and it's really, really good training, really good racing, fruitin' hard, but yeah, I definitely encourage them. Eugene's on ETAP as well. Yeah, I really like it. The hoods are pretty small, and I have Eugene, I almost have 100 pounds on Eugene here in the chat, and they're a little bit smaller than the Shimano, which some people really like. I'm not sure yet. You know, I still have to get like the bar position and all that figured out, but right now I need to stretch a little bit, and then we'll look at the numbers for the race, and then we'll sign off for now. Oh man, hamstrings really need a stretch. All right, so just to wrap things up, once you're stopped in Zwift, you just click on the menu button. You get all your choices for customization and stuff. You get a little bit of a summary, but to get the in-depth summary, just before you load up to Strava, let's say, you can see where you went. So we did the flat lap, 4 laps of that, and then you can check out your timeline, which I really like. Change up our scene here. The timeline shows you your power over the course of the race, so all the different numbers that you hit. When I dug to catch back on, I hit 1100 watts, and in lap number 3 at some point I hit 179 beats per minute. Pretty hard laps 2 to 3. Got a little bit of recovery in here. Always find a chance to recover, and then the race ended somewhere around here. I tried to keep it zone 3, but I just had to settle it down. So pretty good stuff for a 58-minute workout. Really tough work, and yeah, you load it up to Strava and you get the same sort of viewpoint. That post-analysis or post-ride analysis is always really good to see. One of the nice features of Zwift, and its integration with the other training software such as Training Peaks and Strava. You can just push your stuff right out. So that's what I'm going to do. You'll see here in a second. So I'm going to push mine to Strava, Today's Plan, and Training Peaks. I like Today's Plan because they send you an email every week about what you did. So I kind of like that. I pay for Strava Premium. That's going to change next year, but yeah, these are my software. So that's it for me. I'll be analyzing my data and getting some sugar back in the system here, and I hope you all have a good day. That's it from us here at Zwift Community Live. We'll be back very soon, I'm sure. And as always, remember to ride on.